can make up for it, get them on today. We have Mateusz on the right playing Burnett EX up against Rune Heiremans playing Lost Box, who someone else we were talking about yesterday, one of those seniors who's recently aged up and started doing very well. So an absolute stonker of a first match here today.
Yeah, so that was not a mistake by the... Oh, hold on. Yeah, that is actually... Wow, that is a like the Wasteland Stadium as well. Things we love to see. Look at those prize cards though, Freya, in honesty. Nothing terribly impactful, I think.
No, it doesn't look like, I mean, 2 battle VIP pass, not really ideal, but as long as you find your others turn 1, it is fine. But yes, the Burnett EX, the Everlasting Darkness attack, not a very frequently used metagame card, I think it's safe to say. Of course, with the attack for 1 Psychic Energy doing 30 damage and preventing your opponent from playing item cards during their next turn. Yeah,
and I think one interesting thing about Burnett is that the second attack's actually really helpful as well. That Poltergeist for 2 energy, 60 for each trainer card in your opponent's hand. So not only do you get the hand knowledge, looking at your opponent's hand, but all those items that you have stopped your opponent from playing via Everlasting Darkness can come back to haunt them via big, hefty damage.
Yeah, it's a strategy we've seen made use of in the past, right? You can go all the way back to 2010. You had the sort of the item locking Vile Plume using a combination with the Poltergeist Gengar from the Pearl era, and that was a absolutely devastating strategy for a long time.
Yeah, and even combination of that Gengar Mimikyu, a similar kind of strategy with Horror House and Poltergeist as well. So Mateusz, you have to be thinking, I'm quite happy. Not only have I navigated this Burnett deck all the way to day 2, my first round in day 2, I've opened Battle VIP Pass as well. You must be quite happy, right?
Yeah, I got to be thinking things are going pretty well already. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what Mateusz actually goes for from this. We see that there is a bit of a Gardevoir, like a mini Gardevoir or Curlier package going on to kind of draw cards as well. But actually, after the VIP, just opting to get two Shuppets and then getting a Ralts off of the Fog Crystal.
Yeah, I think that sort of gives you a bit of insight into how this deck will operate, you know, not solely reliant on the Ralts and Curlier, so you just need one of them, maybe just you have Psychic Embrace available and a ton of Shop It. Over to Rune, you know, first season as a master, and again, opens up with a Chorus Experiment. Does see a Battle VIP pass there as well, so Rune is not going to go down without a fight.
No, not at all. Very, very strong start already. And yeah, able to find one of the 2 remaining unprized Battle VIP passes.
True.
So going to be quite happy to see that. And a Hisuian Heavy Ball as well. Always a card you really like to see early on. Of course, it does let you look at your face-down prize cards, take a basic Pokemon from there, and then replace the Pokemon that you take from the prizes with the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Even if there aren't any basic Pokemon in there, it's a much easier and quicker way to get knowledge of your prize cards than having to kind of manually look for your deck and figure it out.
Oh, it makes it infinitely faster. Yeah. I much prefer just finding that Heavy Ball nice and early, look at the prizes, write them down, and then there you go, happy days. So let's look at Rune's list here. Let's have a gander and see sort of what version he is playing. Obviously doing very well here. Obviously we do see the 1 copy of Spiritomb in the prizes. More of a turbo-based build. So we see the Dragonite, the Raikou, which could be interesting. You know, those 2 prize Pokemon can apply a lot of pressure onto the low damage dealing Burnett, as it were. But then, do you think, if you were Rune right now, Freya, and you're looking over, you see some Shuppets, thinking, right, I'm probably going to get Trainer Lock. Would you still try and do that normal 1 prize strategy, you know, Cramorants with, you know, Sableye, or would you lean into the 2 prize attackers, do you think?
I think you still... It's tough to say. I think it's less a matter of which sort of attacking strategy you lean into and more a matter of I need to be way more aggressive with my item usage. You know, normally there might be like an argument as to whether you want to play a bit more conservative with your resources and just maybe like save a few to switch carts later on, and so whether you can get more effective use out of them in a later turn. But against item lock, no, you need to use as many items as possible, as early as possible, because you know it won't be long before you can't use them at all. So you want to get them out of your deck and out of your hand.
Right, I'm going to let you into a bit of insight here, viewers and Freya. I tried a little bit of Burnett. Wasn't very successful for me. Yeah, I'll tell you what. One problem I ran into, I should say, as Rune is about to use this concealed cards here, is that I found that Cramorant was a big problem. It was a 0 energy attacker that you aren't dealing with very quick. That was actually 2-shotting you, right? So I'm intrigued to see how Mateusz looks to navigate that, or if Rune even identifies that he wants to use Cramorant. As Rune actually has a really tough decision here of this flower selecting as the Sableye or the Battle VIP pass. Opts to Lost Zone the Sableye. Does play 2 copies, so there is still one available. But it does get that Battle VIP pass. So I'll be really intrigued to see if Rune does start to swing with that Cramorant, because it is such a problem.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what I was saying before, right, about you want to play all those items out as soon as you can. As for the Cramorant, it's a very good point that you raise. One of the main ways that item locking decks can continue to cause disruption is through disrupting the things that you can still do other than item lock. You know, we've seen strategies in the past have energy discarding, ability lock, all sorts of things. Less of that present in this list from what I can see at least. But even so, having something that you know is almost like an undisruptible attacker is very, very, very powerful.
Yes, like once you get to 4 in the Lost Zone, that Cramorant will just announce Spit innocently. And because it's got 110, you 4-shot it right with Everlasting Darkness if there is no modifiers. So that can get a little bit out of hand. But looking at Mateusz's list, I'm starting to think, and start trying to peer into what his game plan for Lost Box might be. As we do see that Cramorant come into the active, we saw that copy of the Wasteland Stadium in the trainers, in the prize cards, I should say. So I think that in combination with the Radiant Zam and the Shadow Rider V, I think Mateusz might look to use Everlasting Darkness, try and gust something into the active that can't move, use Painful Spoons to move the damage off the other attackers, and try and KO the threats that way. That might be a strategy I think he might be trying to work towards.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. It's a bit tough because one of the ways that strategy works really well is if you can like put in a stadium that makes your opponent just not able to play the game, and then just sort of like lock that in, and like I say, move the damage off the Painful Spoons. Rune's deck is not the kind of deck that can like fall prey to that, and it goes back to what you were saying about Cramorant, right? Cramorant and other attackers in the deck are essentially you can't just lock them out of the game in that way with the strategies that Rune has available. Well, that Mateusz has available.
Yeah,
rather.
I mean, because nothing really has a high retreat cost, right? Like, you would love to try and gust up something that has a high retreat cost because you deny the switching cards, but everyone who runs Pokemon has a 1 retreat cost right now, so not quite a strategy. We do see that Everlasting Darkness being used, so any item cards in Rune's hand can no longer be played. And there we go. Yeah. This is all we see, Spit innocently. This is actually such a problem. That is a 2-shot right now, if you know what I mean.
No, not quite, actually. It's a 3-shot. Banner has 250 HP.
250?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, you are correct, yeah. Still, not great, though.
No, absolutely not.
At least Rune only plays the 1 copy of Cramorant. No 2 copies.
No.
So let's see. Mateusz does have a boss's orders there. I wonder if we'll see the boss force a little bit of resources out from Rune. I know we can see the Everlasting Darkness.
Well, I guess you kind of, to your point, right, you want to deal with the Cramorant. Yeah, you know that this is the thing that can actually sort of not counteract your strategy, but is like very effective, at least against what you're trying to do. So just getting it out of the way, especially knowing that most of these Lost Zone lists only play 1 Cramorant, just deal with it as soon as you can. I guess you deny the super odds as well for the rest of the game if you keep using Everlasting Darkness. So, just deal with the Cram. There we go. Yep, that's the... nothing else Rune can do, right? That's all Rune can do. I think only has a Roxanne that's playable, and it's not playable until Mateusz takes some extra prize cards, so not a lot going on. We are going to see some refinements there for Mateusz, drawing 2, discarding that Battle VIP pass, drawing 2. What we see there? We see the other banner, actually. We're going to see a Poltergeist. I saw an energy attached to the active. Oh, I think it's getting retreated. No, so energy to the active, retreat into another Everlasting Darkness. Yeah, your opponent is clearly not doing much of anything right now. There's no reason to not just to keep announcing Everlasting Darkness right now. Ooh, interesting from Rune here. Does have the Raikou V and a Forest Seal Stone. Now, if you put that down, though, that is a 2-prize Pokemon. Poltergeist can easily get to 200 damage. Rune opting to do that, though. Yeah, and this is an interesting change because not so long ago, this wouldn't have been a possible move. For sure, with the release of Scarlet and Violet, tool cards were changed to their own category of trainer rather than being a subclass of items. So, yeah, now you can actually play tools under item lock. What do you think Rune Search is here? I mean, it's probably going to have to be a supporter, right? I mean, I don't think it'll be a basic energy. No, well, it's definitely not going to be an item, at least. Yeah, well, you would imagine, right? So, is Colress, do you reckon, could you try and go for like a boss's orders, try and buy yourself a turn of items? You could try and buy a turn of items. You could take a KO on the Banette, I guess, although I'm not sure how far that gets you. It's kind of tough to say. We see. I actually didn't go see what it was. Yeah, it was
a
chorus
chorus.
experiment. Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah. You want to fuel your lost zone. You want to be able to like see more cards. Chorus is just by far the best option here.
I guess if there's a world in which Rune can get to 10 in the lost zone, Sableye can like do some massive damage, because again, that is a Pokemon that will not be getting KO'd to Everlasting Darkness. I think that's a 3-shot, right? So that you can spread 360 damage counters with one Sableye, which for item lock decks, that is a terrifying amount of damage being thrown around. So maybe that's what Rune's going to try and work towards here.
Yeah. And so Comfey and something I didn't quite see. Oh, a Comfey and a Lost Vacuum going to the lost zone. And then just going to be another Spit Innocently. And
now it's worth noting, viewers, Mateusz does play one copy of Cheryl. This would be a fantastic time to find it.
Oh, yes.
Whilst KOing this Cramorant as well. Does have 2 refinements available. Has a Fog Crystal and level, so can thin some cards. That would be devastating. In case you don't know, Cheryl will heal all damage from your evolution Pokemon and discard the energies from them.
Yeah, something I was a bit curious to see is whether Mateusz is playing the Buddy Catcher Gallade, of course, that lets you search deck for any supporter. It doesn't look like there is, though. I don't see it in the list. However, there is, of course, the other Banette, the one with the Puppet Offering ability that lets you get back a support card from your discard pile to your hand.
So if it has been discarded or does get discarded off a farm, we could use that as well. Oh, what we got it? Arven and was that a gold stage? Oh, okay, here we go.
Refinement, starting process research. Nope.
No, sort of Path to the Peak. And a Boss's Orders, I think that is. Yeah, Boss. Oh, it's the Radiant Alakazam as well.
Oh, okay.
So not quite Cheryl. But to be fair, though, realistically, oh, Boss into the man. Now this is interesting.
Okay.
Because if Rune can just pay retreat here, that's a good bit of offensive pressure being used. I would imagine.
Maybe Mateusz was thinking not wanting to take prize cards straight away.
Yeah.
It just they wanted to sort of keep up the attacks, and then maybe eventually get a KO later on with Painful Spoons once a bench slot is free.
Yeah, I reckon there's quite a few options I think Mateusz can use looking at his list, right? Because he also does play the one copy of Mew EX. So maybe Mateusz wants to get rid of this Mana Feast, then you can do an open up the line for a genome hacking into the Moonlight Shuriken play, remove some threats at the same time. That could be an option.
Rune not looking happy right now, head and hands a little bit, trying to think, what I didn't prepare for this. I
don't think anyone prepared for this, did they? We do see the energy to retreat, though. I think that's a fantastic. I think that's still a fantastic turn. But I mean, that Cramorant will have to go down eventually. But it's put a lot of work in. Not many Cramorants attack this much in a round.
No, that's like 220 damage from Cramorants alone just now.
Okay, so let's see. This would be the fantastic time for a Cheryl, right? Doesn't get much more valuable than this. Has 4 cards to find there. Here we go, Refinement. Oh, the curve is going all over the shop. I saw the Mew EX and a Boss's Orders. Got one more dig. Refinement, Freya. Did we see the Cheryl?
No, I don't think so.
No. Oh, but does have the Forest Stone available. Now, and the thing is, we have the previous knowledge of these deck lists. Rune does not know that there could be a Cheryl coming down to remove all that damage. Freya, what was that like? What, close to 400 damage is being removed?
440.
And now we see the Banette using its ability Puppet Offering to get that Cheryl immediately back from the discard pile.
This is
wait, does Mateusz have an energy to attack? He only plays 6. Or does he have access to the Gardevoir EX as well? That would also work.
Yes, that would also work. I don't see it, though. Oh, no, there's energy in hand. It's fine.
Oh, there's energy. Okay, just one, so don't want to get too ahead of myself there. Wow, what a turn, Freya.
What a turn. 440 damage healed in one go. And if you're Rune, you've got to be thinking, I just wasted 4 turns.
Yeah. And the main offensive threat, that Cramorant, now being discarded, with Rune having no way to get it back. There is no Clara. Only Super Rod's Pokemon recovery, and as long as Everlasting Darkness continues to be used, Freya, that Cramorant's going to have to stay there.
Yeah, what do you even do if you're Rune in this situation? I mean, your whole deck relies on items operate. You want the Super Rod to get stuff up. There's Mirage Gate, right? The Rune hasn't even had a chance to use the Mirage Gate yet, so there's no way to power up an attacker quickly in one turn. It's really, really brutal.
I think what can happen is when you play against quote-unquote surprise decks, right? Decks that you haven't prepared for or not really 100% sure. Sometimes game 1 can just be, almost learning the matchup right. And you have to say, right, game 1, chances I might not be able to swing this back, but games 2 and 3, I have a better strategy. That might what Rune might be doing, trying to see out more of the list,
Yeah, and you kind of have to strike a balance, right? Because you are on a very short time round, so you don't want to go so far through the game knowing you're going to lose, just try and get more information, only to then not be able to use that information to actually win a game 2 or 3. So there's definitely a balance to be struck there, but Rune still playing it out for now, maybe thinking that there is a way out as long as I can just buy myself enough time in this game 1.
To be fair, if Rune can somehow get to the 10 in the Losso, Sableye puts on a lot of pressure.
That is
but it's just whether you can get that cost, because now you can't be using stuff like Lost Vacuum, for example. You're going to have to choose Flower Selectings and Chorus to get there. Is it 8 already? Not too far away.
Not too far away, but again, it is so much slower when you only have access to limited Flower Selectings, right? You can't do your usual, you know, Flower Selecting, switch card into another Comfey, Flower Selecting. Unless you're constantly hitting Chorus Experiment, you're so much more limited in how many cards you can get into the Losso in each turn.
Yeah, we do see some more refinements again, ×2. Oh, there's the Gardevoir EX. And we do see the Raid Alakazam coming down. Now, I do believe, whoa, okay, we also see an energy get attached to that. That Mind Ruler 20 for each card in your opponent's hand. I tell you what, that actually is really relevant when you're forcing your opponent to not play item card, really having to pick it up as well.
It's like, wait, this has an attack?
Yeah, that is an attack, yeah. 20 for each card in your opponent's hand. I mean, that adds up quite quick, you know? 10 card hand, 200 damage.
And you're playing a strategy which intentionally makes your opponent accumulate cards in their hand as well. So yeah, wow, I actually completely forgot that Radiant Alakazam had that attack.
Yeah, so there we go. Seeing it all here, chat. Come on, Radiant Alakazam attacking. We've got 2 Banets going in his deck. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness gracious. Now this could be one way Rune can buy a turn back. Can Mateusz retreat this Lumineon?
Yes.
Because you can't Psychic Embrace to it, although I do think I see Psychic Energy in that hand, I believe. Oh, wait.
Yeah, there
is. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be able to treat this time, but this would have been like one of the few ways that Rune could find that out, of course, that, Psychic Embrace not being able to attach to non-Psychic Pokemon.
But
there
goes Manaphy.
Yep. So, Painful Spoon's going to move damage from the Comfey to the Manaphy for a KO, and I imagine after that, we're just going to see attach, retreat, and just keep attacking.
Are we going to see a boss genome hack? Oh. Hold on a second. Boss is always up the Raikou.
Wait, Poltergeist?
Yeah, we're going to see a Poltergeist. I mean, that is most likely going to be 2 prizes, right? 60 for each trainer in Rune's hand.
This might actually be like almost 1,000 damage. I'm just looking at trainers in Rune's hand.
We're about to see 1,000 damage on stream, Freya. Round 1. That'll wake you up. Come on. Poltergeist, in case you don't know, 60 for each trainer in your opponent's hand, so you get the hand knowledge as well. Here we are going to see a collapse stage. Removing that Lumineon. Mateusz, come on now, man. You don't have to be that mean. Golly.
I mean, it's cemented the game, right? There's now no boss stall option for Rune, so yeah, an absolutely huge put down from Mateusz. They go 3, 6, 9, 12.
12. So what's that? 720
damage.
720 damage. Come on, that's a ridiculous amount of damage. Could have KO'd everything on Rune's side of the board with that amount of damage. Goodness gracious. And Mateusz marches towards this game 1 victory. Only 2 prize cards left.
Yeah. But very important to note, it's not just items that Poltergeist does all the damage for, it's every single trainer. So it's like who's tools, stadiums, so not only does it do damage for all the items that you can't play, but if there's other trainers you're holding on to, then that's even more damage that Poltergeist is doing.
Now, it is worth noting, Rune can play his item cards now. Everlasting Darkness was not used, so Rune can go off to the races, as it were. Oh my goodness gracious me! Pokestop! What are you doing?
I mean, it just kind of makes sense, right? The items are all in Rune's hand already. But, that's horrendous.
Wow. Freya, if you're Rune nothing, I've been item locked this whole game. On my 1 turn to start trying to get back in, my Pokestop's going to get over 3 Pokemon. Well, 2 Pokemon and a support, I should say. Oh, my goodness. Rune is about to get to 10 cards in the loss. Hasn't got much of a choice there, having to get rid of a water energy.
Yeah, but there is a 10, right? And this goes back to what you were saying before. Now, maybe there's an opportunity to do something here. If Rune can find a Sableye and a Psychic Engine, switch into it, Rune can start lost mining. And that is an attack that Mateusz does have to take quite seriously. Yes,
100%. I think, has Rune still got that Roxanne in hand that we saw from ages ago? Because this could be the turn to use it, right?
Yeah, it's right there.
It's right there. But then, do you want to play the chorus and sort of dig towards your combo piece? Now, using Dragonite, Dragon Gale is really costly. That puts 20 damage on all your Pokemon as well, so you can't really keep announcing that over and over. But 250 does one-shot a Banette.
Yes, it does. That's a tricky thing because I think you want to kind of accelerate the amount of prizes you're taking, right? And I think this is fine to do as long as you can play as many item cards as you can this turn.
Yeah.
You're not risking the potential, just return knockout from a Poltergeist.
Yeah. So you got we have to sort of do this little dance here of using Dragonite, but not too much to where you KO your own comp phase. But you have to use it so you can start taking some prize cards, but you don't want to have many cards in your hand out when you do it.
Yes.
So there's a few hurdles for Rune to jump over here. But I tell you, that's a scary Pokemon for Mateusz to deal with. Make no mistake about it.
There it is. Mirage Gate attaching a Lightning and a Water to that Dragonite. We saw the Water energy already in hand as well, so we know that there's enough energy going on to be able to actually use that Dragon Gale attack. And now it's going to be a matter of switch card to heal off the damage as well. That could be relevant. Less options to use with Painful Spoons. Water energy from the hand. Is Mateusz going to play any more items? Yeah, Pal Pad, of course, makes sense.
Makes sense.
Shuffle in some supporters. You just, again, now that you've been given this opportunity, you just want to play as many items as you can, and I'm sure that Rune will do his best to do so. Maybe you can play that Vacuum as well if you want to.
Yeah, it means you want to get trainers out of your hand, right? Because if you are going to play that Roxanne, you are going to give yourself a new hand, and you don't want to have too many trainers in that hand.
No.
So, yeah, it's an interesting little, could be a catch-22 here. You play the Roxanne to reduce Mateusz's hand, but then if you draw a whole lot of trainers that you can't play for whatever reason, Poltergeist could come back swinging. But then if you're Mateusz, you take the risk on that Poltergeist, because if you go for the Poltergeist and it's not a KO, you've just offered up another 2 prize cards, essentially.
Yeah, it is tough. Rune going for the Roxanne now, though.
Ooh, okay, this could be a very big Roxanne, folks. Rune getting 6 cards, Mateusz getting 2. Obviously, Mateusz does have access to 1 refinement as it stands now as well.
Yeah, it's going to be helpful to draw, at least draw a little bit out of this hand disruption being presented. So
okay.
What does Rune get off of this? Oh,
that's a lot of trainers, Freya.
4,
Freya.
5.
Freya.
5.
5. Okay.
That's still going to be a knockout. That's 300 damage.
I guess 4 now though.
Nesball
gets paid
that's
6,
true.
12, and 80, 240. That's still a KO.
Yeah.
Needs to get rid of 1 more. I think.
You just play Mirage Gate, right?
Oh yeah, Mirage Gate. That's actually quite good as well, actually, because then if you do see Everlasting Darkness for use, at least you do have a Slick Energy on your Sableye to get ready to swing. So Rune navigated that potential dangerous hand pretty well. And now about to see a Dragon Gale for 2 prize cards. As to be fair, Rune will be on 3 prize cards taken after this turn. Very much still in this game.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially with Rune able to navigate so well with making sure that there's, not enough items in hand, or not enough trainers in hand for KO. But Rune did just take 2 prizes. What were they? Oh my God.
That's a whole hand. Oh my goodness.
That's enough. Rune took 2 trainers of the prizes. Or if Mateusz just promotes the Banette and announces Poltergeist, he wins the game.
Yeah, but do you take that risk if you're Mateusz? Oh my God. Do you know the mind games here right now? Because I've played these sort of Poltergeist decks before. I played a lot of Gengar Mimikyu in my day. I always used to call it Poltergeist and Prey. Sometimes you did it, sometimes you didn't.
He's going to go for it.
He's going for Mateusz. Okay, does have Psychic Embrace, so what was that? Okay, well, that's not particularly helpful. So we're going to refine that away, draw 2. What do we get?
So Super Rod and...
Guard of RTX, I believe. So nothing... Oh, we do say an Iota. No, we don't want to use that.
No, definitely not.
Freya, would you go for this Poltergeist
I think I would, to be honest. You're playing against Lost Box. You know their deck is 90% items, and that's even barely an exaggeration. As long as 4 out of the 5 are items, you do win here. So, Mateusz is shaking. You can tell he knows that this is kind of where the mind games are at, right?
Whoa, he's played the Iona.
Oh.
Wow. Interesting. I guess there's an argument. Even if the Poltergeist wasn't a KO, as long as some damage goes on the board, you can Miracle Force with the Guard of RTX to finish it off as well.
Yeah. You can just play it safe and go for the 2-shot. Oh, wait, no. You can use
he's going to use Dragon Gale. Wow. On the Genome Hack to win the game. Goodness gracious me. Mateusz putting on a show.
Why take the gamble when you can guarantee it on another attacker?
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. That is exactly what you want to see. Well, super impressive win there, game 1.
Look at him smiling to the camera. He knows he's putting on a show. Everyone at home, come on. Genome Hack for game. I think was that the first genome hack on a European stream?
I believe so. Yeah, we didn't see as much of it yesterday as we thought we would. There was like a few people played Mew, but it never actually like came to the forefront to attack.
Wow, I am very impressed with that performance. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Rune navigated himself back into that game really well. And now with the knowledge out of this matchup, I still think Rune can still have a chance to win. I feel as if Rune can really have a big pop-off turn 1, start threatening Sableyes earlier, threaten that Dragonite earlier, could be a different ball game.
Going first would be big because obviously of Banette being a stage 1 Pokemon,
yes.
Going first means you have 2 guaranteed turns of items. There's no way to get out a turn 1 Banette and get it to start attacking them. At least as far as I'm aware. There's Boost Shake, but that ends your turn, so that's not going to work.
Yeah, so having 2 turns of items there could be interesting. Wow, oh, this is a good game. Oh, I'm very excited about this, you know what I mean? Well, there's just so many different avenues. Like, we never saw the Wasteland Stadium card. I can't remember the first one, unfortunately. But that could be used against Lost Box as well. It increases with basic Pokemon's treat cost by 1. That could make utilizing the comp phase a little bit harder as well. So, and then there's also the Shadow Rider V, which I'm sure could get used in this matchup. The Astral Barrage, spreading 5 damage counters to 2 of your opponent's or 50 damage, I should say, to your opponent's Pokemon. There's many things that could be used here. I think we've only scratched the surface of this matchup.
I think you might be right. I do think the Shadow Rider V is unlikely to come in, mainly because the 5-on. I think the 5-on-2 Pokemon is nice, but that maybe more as like a finisher with like Painful Spoons. I think the more important thing is just to go Banette turn after turn and stop your opponent from playing so many items. We can just looking at the deck, right? You can do like an average count there. I mean, how many? I think I exaggerated with 90% earlier, but I think like over 50% items in Lost Box might actually not be an exaggeration.
Well, I think the problem is it doesn't really play too many supporter cards, right?
No.
So a lot of those trainers are just going to be items. I mean, the only so you got what, 2 Forest Sealstone, 1 Boss, 1 Roxanne, and 4 Chorus. So that's all the trainers that aren't items. As we look at the prize cards, let's have a look. We see 1 Forest Sealstone, Spirit 2, not to very helpful, and then the Chorus for Rune, and then for Mateusz, 1 copy of... Oh, speaking of that Shadow Rider, it is currently in the active spot, and I don't think Mateusz wants it there, at least for now.
No, if you ever do use it, it would only ever be a B later on. Also, just did a final count on the items. 32. That's how many items.
So over half the deck, then.
Yeah, so over 50% of Rune's deck is items, so yeah.
Oh, wow, so that makes that Poltergeist a very terrifying option. Now, it's interesting, because that Shadow Rider Calyrex V, that first attack, Shadow Mist, sometimes is incredible. For 1 energy, 10 damage. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any special energy or stadium cards. That can be debilitating for some decks like Mew EMAX, for example. But against Turbo Lost Box, not that helpful. No, that card is in there because against some matchups, it can almost basically be an auto win, right? If you, say, against Lugia, if you can pass to the peak, and then just follow up with the Shadow Mist before they can get out their Archeopsis with the Summoning Star on the Lugia V-Star, then they're left manually attaching energy, and you're just going to have a very, very good time in that game. Yeah, or DTE Mew. That's another one. Lock that path to the peak down. Put now Shadow Mist every turn till you win. That's literally can be terrifying. But like we did say, against Turbo Lost Box, probably not too impactful. We do see that Dragonite V in the active. Now this is interesting because at least it's in play now. So if Rune does get hit with that Everlasting Darkness, at least the Dragonite is there. If you opt to use it as a focal point, doesn't have to like utilize anything to go and find it. As Rune does play a battle with our P-Pass Rare to find the Radiant Greninja and Comfort. Yes. So off to a very, very good start already. You're going to be able to do conceal cards. Now, Rune is going to have some kind of switching item in the hand. Of course, that Dragonite does have a very beefy retreat cost of 3, so very hard to move out of the active. But we do see there the Escaper already ready to go in hand, so going to be able to start doing some flower selecting here. Oh, I think Rune really wants to get more than 1 card in the loss zone this turn, but I don't think we'll be able to. There's no other ways to find Comfort in this hand. Oh, that's devastating. This hand is not looking great, actually, thinking about it. No, it's really not. I mean, next turn it's going to have to be living on the flower selecting and conceal card. Over to Mateusz, though. Let's see what he can manufacture. Ooh, moving that hand very quick, so we see a Fog Crystal and a Battle of our Peeper. Okay. So Mateusz can go off to the races here as well. I'll tell you what's worth noting, potentially. Okay. Shop it for 1 energy, Enveloping Shadow, 10 damage, flip a coin if heads during your opponent's next turn. They can't play any item cards. So that's like a baby item lock. Yeah, so I don't know if you go for it. Do still have to navigate this Shadow Rider out the active. But it's an option.
If you get lucky, right? Maybe you can actually leave Rune on only one set of items. And actually, if Mateusz does that and gets ahead, considering what Rune's hand currently looks like, that would be pretty devastating, honestly.
Yes, 100% it will. As we do see the Bannet come. Obviously, the Bannet would always come down here, but it could be.
No, but Bannet's out. Yeah, of course, it's a shop it.
Oh, shop it, I should say. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited when I see those big, hefty poltergeist again. Like, come on, we actually do think about it. Was it 720 damage on stream, round 1 at Lille? You don't get that too often,
nope.
chat. Come on. All about entertainment here.
Phenomenal stuff. To me, it'll be interesting to see what actually Mateusz goes for after this Battle VIP pass. There's a Fog Crystal in hand, but there's already a Psychic Energy, so I guess you probably want to get another Shop It Down, maybe another Rolls, but I think, like we saw in Game 1, Mateusz tends to prioritize the Shop It's first, wanting to make sure he can keep up that stream of the everlasting darkness.
Yeah, Mateusz wants to turn off all the lights in this venue. He wants to keep it dark. No items being used whatsoever. I think Mateusz does have the Forestal Stone in hand, right? And obviously Shadow Rider is a V Pokemon, so we could see it just going there. Depending what his hand is, might be forced to use that now, or might opt not to.
I think Mateusz is actually debating whether to just bench the Luminion with the Battle VIP pass. Of course, you wouldn't be able to make use of the Luminous Sign ability if you did so, but maybe thinking it would be worth it to be able to use that Forest Steel Stone, but decided not to in the end.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to see the third Shop It coming down. There's those trick or treat promos, the booster promos there, as it were. Got the little Pikachu pumpkin there. Because it is Halloween soon, but it's going to be some Halloween on the Pokemon Twitch this week, actually, thinking about it as well.
Okay, no, I just realized that Shadow Rider Calyrex V is a V. You don't need to put the Luminion down. Yeah, just thinking that. But
what do you think this surge is here?
Yeah. No, so I guess you get another VIP pass, but it's a little bit confusing because we saw Mateusz was like he brought the Luminion to the front of the deck, so that's why I was thinking maybe he was thinking of doing something with it. But I guess to be fair, you could just been doing that just to see if it was in the deck or not. Yeah,
probably doing a little bit of a prize check, as we do see the Professor's Research getting chosen there off that Star Alchemy. So we're not going to see any Enveloping Shadow this turn, unfortunately, as we do see that Psychic Energy hit the...
Oh.
Ooh, now that is interesting. That Wasteland Stadium makes all basic non-fighting Pokemon in play an extra retreat cost. That means that Comfey now has a 2 retreat cost if no stadiums get played.
Yeah, Calamitous Wasteland. Not a card we've seen a lot of at all, but definitely a good fit in here, and especially when you're playing against a deck that... relies on mostly its items in order to switch around.
Yes,
and,
for sure.
But also with the occasional, one energy attach retreat and then do it again. But if the Calamitous Wasteland is in play, that's not going to be an option.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that it does actually increase the Shadow Rider's retreat cost to 3 as well, because that is a basic non-fighting Pokemon as well. So, but we are probably going to see a Shadow Mist. Oh, that's actually a real interesting interaction. The Shadow Mist means that Calamitous Wasteland cannot be replaced outside of Lost Vacuum.
Oh, that is true, yeah.
So Lost Vacuum would work, but there will be no Pokestops coming down from Rune's side of the board. I guess that would also stop any potential Jet Energies as well, thinking about it.
Yeah, because it stops Jet Energies being played. But there we go.
There we go, Shadow Mist being used.
Rune drew a Battle VIP pass. Would like to see that last turn. Concealed cards draws a Energy and a Roxanne. Not much help.
Was there a chorus in the hand?
No, I didn't see it. There's a Flower Selecting and Raikou and another Battle VIP pass. Yeah, this hand is
that's unfortunate.
Really not working with Rune right now.
Rune knowing he was close to the Battle VIP passes last turn, but just not quite there. Now, Rune does have the switch cards in hand, so he can maneuver his Comfort if he chooses to. Can't even use a Spit Innocently this turn, though. Only at 2 in the loss, though. That would have been the ideal scenario, I think, but not quite possible.
Super Rod just going to play it whilst he can, just to shuffle into the Water Energies that were discarded earlier, but not much else to do other than that. The Flower Selecting not finding much help. No attack happening this turn. No Chorus's Experiment or anything like that. Just not much going on.
This would have been a fantastic turn, just get some damage into that Shadow Rider, right? Because Rune isn't to know, but obviously there is no Shadow Rider VMAX, so any damage on that Shadow Rider would stay outside of Collapse, so you can try and clean it up with Sableye. So Mateusz might be able to get some item lock going quite early again.
Yeah, and Rune, or rather Mateusz, does not have a lot of options for getting this Shadow Rider Calyrex out of the active. There's, I believe, one escape rope, and maybe like an Arven to like search out that escape rope, but not much else other than that. Like just the amount of switching cards that Mateusz plays is very low, which is probably why he wanted to not, ideally not lead the Shadow Rider Calyrex.
I'm thinking you might not even be maneuvering this Shadow Rider. That's the problem. There's no energy in that hand.
There's not as well.
So you have the Ultra Ball to get your Burnett, but you haven't got a way to get any energy right now. You've got no way of drawing cards. Well, the bench is full, so Luminion's not an option. There is no like Bibaul or anything like this. Does he play like an energy search or something? No, there's no energy search, so I don't think we're seeing an attack this turn outside of Shadow Mist.
Well, there's the Arven in any case, so we'll be able to use that to find...
Oh, Fog Crystal, but then
yeah.
that doesn't actually maneuver the Shadow Rider out of the active.
Do you maybe... I guess you just want to keep up your Stream of Energy attachments. You could also Ultra Ball for another Curlier to Refinement again, but then obviously you're giving up the Burnett. So it's a little bit tough.
Yeah, so not a few hurdles for Mateusz to navigate there, leading the Shadow Rider being a little bit unhelpful in this scenario. Let's see.
Actually just gonna attach again to the active.
That Astral Barrage, if Manaphy doesn't come down, I could start applying some pressure, you know.
I thought Astral Barrage was damage counters. I thought it got around Manaphy.
Oh, I think you might be correct, actually. You are, let's have a little gander. Yeah, 5, that you are correct. Yes. I mean, to be fair, that's a lot of pressure against a Lost Box there, if Lost Box isn't really doing much in response.
Yeah, clearly...
Which is not, unfortunately, for Rune.
Yeah, right now, at least.
Rune does get to 3 cards in the Lost Zone. We do see the switching card heals off that damage as well. We're going to see a Fleet-Footed.
No, not quite it.
Dear.
If Rune could find a Lightning Energy, actually, then it would be a pretty good spot, because then you just... Oh, wait, there is Lightning Energy in hand. Does Rune have another bench Pokemon?
No.
Oh, so close. Right now, the Raikou V doing 200 damage, just 10 short of a knockout on the Shadow Rider Calyrex.
No way.
Oh, then that's going to have to be a 200. That's so close, but no cigar.
Wow. I mean, to be fair, that can be cleaned up with Sableye at any time, but we do know that Mateusz does play Collapse Stadium. Rune did see it last game, I should say. Wow, that Raikou almost coming in so clutch there. Wow, what a swing that would have been.
That would have been insane, but for now at least it's going to be on Mateusz to find some kind of counterplay that makes sense. Can go for, of course, a Refinement with the one Curlier that's out, draw 2 cards. Going to want to find another Energy, going to want to find more ways. Oh, there's a Burnett drawn. That's pretty good, but no way to get this Shadow Rider out of the active still.
There's almost like a bit of reverse synergy here, because the Wasteland is increasing the retreat cost on that Shadow Rider, so it can't retreat right now. Mateusz can replace the stadium with Collapse, so then you can retreat, but you'd rather collapse that damaged Shadow Rider away.
Yeah.
And you can't do both as it stands right now. So does level ball for that Curlier, 2 more cards of Refinement.
Oh, hold on, though. There is an Ultra Ball in Mateusz's hand, and I believe there was 1 more Energy as well.
In the discard?
No, in the hand, I suppose. No, maybe not. Okay, if Mateusz can find another Energy, you can attach manually to the Calyrex, retreat it, and then Ultra Ball for the Gardevoir EX and Psychic Embrace.
Yes, but I don't think... We saw there's 2 Gardevoir EX in hand now, so if there are any energy in discard pile for whatever reason, we could see that... Oh, but wait, you can't Psychic Embrace to the...
No, that's what I'm saying. You need to draw the energy in hand.
First. Yeah, I see what you say. Yeah. So, unfortunately, that has a... I don't think there's any way around that now.
No.
And you see the Psychic Embrace come down there, Gardevoir EX. Very nice. That does reduce Refinements to be used now, though.
Yeah, so there's no... I don't think there's any way to make the attack happen this turn, unfortunately, as ideal as it would be.
I wonder if we could see an Ultra Ball for the other Burnett, the Puppet Offering, to grab that research back and play that. We haven't seen a supporter use this turn, right? I think that might be what Mateusz is working out. Like, an evolve this Burnett, but then you have to get rid of your Painful Spoons, which we know Mateusz loves to use in this matchup.
And you have to get rid of your Cheryl as well. The Cheryl's currently in the hand.
Yeah.
I think that might be a bit of a problem here. There's like too many valuable resources you have to get rid of to do that play.
As we are just going to see that Shadow Mist again. That Calyrex putting in the finest of work. And let's see, we do see the switch cards. I could actually remove that damage if Rune wanted. Now, I feel as if Rune's been given a little lifeline here. Let's see if he can capitalize. Starting off the turn with a fleet-footed.
And there it is, finally, a Chorus's Experiment. That's
wow.
Exactly what Rune would have wanted to see. So, going to conceal cards first, and he finds a Stable Eye and another Battle VIP pass.
VIP pass, what's going on? Oh, goodness gracious me. So here we are going to see that Chorus Experiment. That will take Rune to a minimum of 5 in the lost zone. So that means Cranman will be live for the rest of this game. Let's see what does Rune get there. Another Chorus, that's a good start.
Yeah, definitely want to keep
couple
that.
of Skate Rope, well, a lot of switching cards and one Comfort. What do you think he takes there?
I think he just lost zone, won a piece of Escape Rope and Switch card, right? You already have a bunch of switching cards in the hand. You know that soon you won't be able to play them anyway. So, yeah, you may as well. And Chorus is important for Dig next turn. You only have one Comfort down, so you want a second one. So, yeah, I think just any two of the switching cards really. And actually opts to just get rid of both of the Escape Ropes.
Interesting. This could be a very different game to game one, right? If Rune already has a Raikou developed, if can get to Mirage Gate territory, Dragonite can become developed, and you've got Cranman developed as well, that could spiral out of control for Mateusz really fast.
Yeah, good.
Lost Vacuum. That would... Oh, he hasn't got a tool to put in. No.
Yeah, no, you'd have to be... you have to lost in one of your opponent's tools or stadium instead. But does opt to get rid of the boss's orders and keep the vacuum, which is an interesting choice.
So we are going to bench the Comfey. Well, I guess you can bench Comfey, switch card into it, and that would take you to the 7. That would unlock the Mirage Gates for... Oh, not maybe. Oh, no, we are going to see it get benched.
Yep. And then there's going to be... And now playing the Escape Rope, okay.
Interesting. That does move that Shadow Rider out the active. But this is like a little... This is like an interesting decision here for Mateusz. You mean you could want to put the Burnett in play? Accidentally, right, I can start attacking with it now. But if you do that, that Dragonite could easily remove it. So, oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. I think as well, just playing just one Escape Rope makes a lot of sense, right? Because you don't want to just over-damage this Shadow Rider counter to KO it. At any point later on in the game, you can just lost bind, put one damage counter on it, and it's gone. So definitely the reference to go for here. Flash selecting number 2, and then I think that was 2 lost vacuums. So just going to put 1 in the lost zone straight away.
Well, he had double Mirage Gate in hand, right, I believe. So we could see the Dragonite. We see a switch card, so we could see Dragonite being used. There's one Lightning actually attached, so I don't think he prized one on.
I don't remember him prizing one either, no, so I think this should be okay. Yeah, Mirage Gate.
Ooh.
It's going to be going for water and...
Oh, wait. Where's the Lightning? That must not be available.
Yeah, it must be a did prize. But there is just as good, if not even better play onto the Radiant Greninja. There's no mana feed down for Mateusz, so Radiant Greninja can come in and Moonlight Shuriken can take a double knockout.
Could be a free prize Greninja here. Could KO the Shadow Rider, plus, Shop It or Curlier, any one of those. Wow.
I think the best move at this point is just to take out the Curlier on the Shuppets, right? Because you don't want to, if you put one of them on the Calyrex V, that's essentially 80 wasted damage, right? You want to maximize the amount that your damage counters are doing. So yeah, just take out 2 of the weaker Pokemon instead.
I mean, you could, but Mateusz does play Collapse, but then I guess you have to fill the bench again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Rune going for a completely different strategy there, actually. Removing the Curly. I don't mind that. That makes sense. Moves the draw option. And then 90. Oh, I guess what this does is brings the Burnett into range of the Raikou.
Oh, that makes
that's a
good point. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I think Rune is getting himself back in this game. Hakwan has 8 in the lost zone, so Sableye will become a threat soon, not too far away. And I tell you what, Mateusz still has to find an energy.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. Taking out the Curlier was very important because, of course, that's the one bit of draw power that Mateusz actually had. And with the other Curlier having been evolved into Gardevoir EX, there's that refinement is no longer available. There's no Rolts on the bench, so you can't even evolve into another one into Curlier to get refinement there. Very limited draw options now for Mateusz.
Like, it's worth knowing, Mateusz only plays 6 copy of basic energy, and having 2 attached to that Shadow Rider is the worst place. Yeah. Because you can't Psychic Embrace from when they're in play. So I think we might have to see that Puppet offering Burnett this turn, I think, with one of those Ultra Balls. If you want to stay in this game, I think that's the only way, realistically.
Because it's the only way you can draw cards, right?
Yeah.
Your hand is energyless, and there's not really much else going for you. Yeah, you just have to play something to draw more cards and hope you can hope you can find another energy.
Hope you can, finish the game out. I don't think you have much choice. You are going to have to get rid of the Cheryl, but I think it's the only way. I mean, it is in the deck. I guess Luminion also works.
Maybe thinking I would rather get a supporter out of my deck than just get rid of the one opportunity I have to reuse something.
Oh, hold on a second. We're going to see Boss's Orders the Dragonite, maybe?
I mean, it has to be, right? I mean, that's probably the only really viable target.
And I guess we... Oh, wait a minute. Now you can collapse, and then you get the energy in place. You could go for the Boss's Orders, and then use Enveloping Shadow, Everlasting Darkness, I should say, on the Bennett, right? I would assume Collapse is still there.
Yep.
There we go. So now energies have been activated. Well, I say activated. They're going to be in the discard pile while we're moving that 200 damage. So now Psychic Embrace can be used. Whoop, there we go.
Yep.
And then we could, well, we're going to say that Everlasting Darkness now, turning off all those item cards, including switch cards and escape ropes.
Very, very smart from Mateusz there. Everlasting Darkness, 30 damage onto this Dragonite with a retreat cost of 3. It's going to be enormously hard for Rune to move this out of the active, so his Corpus Experiment needs to find a bit of a miracle here. Yeah, don't need that Mana Feed, don't need that Nest Ball, get rid of both of those. Water Energy and a pass.
Okay, I mean, that Bennett's taking a lot of damage there. 110, even Shred could be an offensive threat right now from that Dragonite, all things considered. Let's see what Mateusz can do. And now, Mateusz has, this is what these sort of Control S-type decks will do. They will try and slow the game down, get some damage in play, and sort of try and stabilize the position. It's unfortunate Mateusz had to get rid of that Alakazam. I feel this might have been a time to use it, to manipulate damage in a way you see. In the way he sees fit. What do you think Mateusz does here? I don't think he has many options as it goes, right?
I guess the idea is you...
Oh, does have the Agent Alakazam still?
You build up until you're confident enough in Rune's hand amount of trainers to get a KO with Poltergeist, right? But you need to make sure that you have another banner ready to do that before you actually go for it. So yeah, just now another Everlasting Darkness.
Oh, Forest Seal Stone. Now what could this do? There's no way of moving this Dragonite via whatever this search is for, right?
You just search for another energy.
Oh, okay.
Thinking about attaching it, but maybe not.
Would we?
The problem is there's no lightning, right? We were not sure about whether it's prized or not, but we didn't see another in the deck when we had a look, so it must either be prized or maybe it was already discarded and we missed it. But at least with this Water Energy, can go for the Shred.
I think Shred is a lot of offensive pressure in this scenario, right? You mean you're out damaging the Everlasting Darkness, and they're only doing 30 a time, so plenty of. Yeah, I mean, I think Rune is happy to play this race if you want.
Yeah, 30 against 50 is, the 50 is going to win.
Especially when you've seen the Collapse Stadium come down and the Shovel gone as well. Although we could see the other Bennett Puppet offering to get the Shovel
back. In hand. I think Mateusz just drew it.
So we could see that this turn or not. I think checking at the Shovel is just checking what is in the discard pile. We do see energy there. We do see Shovel. Yeah, and we are going to see that Puppet offering, I believe. Get too ahead of ourselves here. To get that supporter back, it works like a VS Seeker, where you lost zone the Bannett and you grab any supporter card back from your hand.
Yep.
Heal off all that damage, and then Psychic Embrace that one energy back or attach from hand if you have it. And there we go, Cheryl.
Yeah,
Tempo.
Fantastic turn, able to, like in the last game, just reset all of the damage that was done. 20 damage, of course, coming back on from the Psychic Embrace, and just going to go for the Everlasting Darkness again.
Wow, and all of a sudden we're saying 50 is more than 30. Well, how about if I heal off all your 50s? How about that then? And all of a sudden, Dragonite's taking 120 damage. Still has a long way to go, though, as that Bennett is back up to 70 damage.
Yeah. There was an Ultra Ball in Mateusz's hand, was debating playing it, but decided to go for the Everlasting Darkness again. And now it's just going to be Shred. I think both players know exactly how the next 2 turns are going to play out. So they're just making sure that they're not missing anything before doing so. Everlasting Darkness again. it's the ping pong, back and forth.
And there's the Shred. Look at it. Quick pace turns right here. Here we go. I think Mateusz is going to have to start trying to set up something else, though. Whoop. And
maybe not.
Go. What's that? So the Dragonite actually gets KO'd next turn, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so let's see what Mateusz opts to do here. We could see a Boss's Orders, and then the Painful Spoons maybe bring up something else, but then everything else sort of retreats anyway.
There's nothing good to bring up, that's the problem.
No need. Mateusz is debating it, though.
Boss.
Are we going to see a Boss's Poltergeist? That would be extremely cheeky if you got a KO on the Roku and left that Dragonite with, like, what, low hit points when it's on.
Oh,
he's debating it. Which one you going for? Okay, going for Comfey. Okay. So I think what he might do is put the 30 into the Comfey and then try and Painful Spoons KO the Dragonite next turn.
Happen,
Try and leave this in the active. That does rely on Rune not being able to move this Comfey this turn. And it's worked! It's worked, Mateusz, you cheeky, cheeky boy, you. And there we do to that Painful Spoons, letting you move 20 damage from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another.
And that's going to be an exact knockout on the Dragonite.
That's going to be an exact knockout on the Dragonite. And then you leave that low offensive threat Comfey in the active. Freya, I am mightily impressed right now.
I am. Bennett is one of those cards that when I first saw it, I think a bunch of us first saw it and we thought to ourselves, no, it just doesn't work, right? You know, the way the deck is right now, there's just no way it has like the staying power. It doesn't do enough damage. But Mateusz has found a way to just, you know, adapt the strategy, even with the lower relative damage output compared to the rest of the format, and just to make it work still.
As we do see that Painful Spoons being used, it's worth noting Mateusz is no stranger to the... Wait a minute, he's moving to the Raikou?
Maybe he... Okay. Oh, no, I know exactly why.
He's going to go for the deck out, is he?
No, Mateusz does not want to activate Roxanne.
Okay, yeah,
That's why.
Yeah. I mean, could go for the deck out as well, right? I mean, only got 2 cards left. I don't think the last box decks play Iono is if you stay away from Roxanne. Yeah, if you stay away from Roxanne, there's no item. There's no way to... Yes, as we do see Mateusz going for the deck out strategy. Rune sees the writing on the wall and concedes. Mateusz getting the win there on our round 1 hit in Lille Day 2. Freya, what are we thinking? What a first round that was.
I'm thinking I'm so glad we got that on stream.
I am amazed. And as I was about to say, Mateusz is no stranger to those item lock decks, right? You know, very successful with Vikavolt. So like you were saying, it just takes someone a little well-versed in the item lock archetype to think, okay, so I can 30 here and I've got access to Poltergeist. How else can I maneuver this deck to beat the field? Mateusz doing it very well. Not only finding himself in day 2, Freya, but round 1 victor as well.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal stuff. I was very curious to see how exactly that deck operated, right? Because, Gardevoir makes a huge difference in your versatility with Bennett, because one of the problems was that, it was hard to